Welcome back to Hit the Books. This is the second of a series of preseason videos looking towards the upcoming season. A couple weeks ago, I went through three of my plays. Old Dominion, Virginia Tech over 48, North Texas plus 10, and Minnesota minus 7. There's been some movement there. Cal, North Texas. North Texas has taken some money. That's down in the 7.5, 8 range, depending where you look. ODU, 49, 49.5, 50, 50.5, kind of still all over the place. The key is where, when, if it gets to 51, is there going to be some buyback on the under? I think there would be. 51 is a very, very important number, as I've talked about. And then the third one, Minnesota, Nebraska, painted now 6.5. I'd get back in. I'd add to my Minnesota position if that got to 6, and I think it very well might between now and August 31st. It's an interesting time. The whole point of this video is I wanted to do like a bigger picture market outlook on where this thing is going. We're in a bit of a holding pattern right now because these lines every year they're coming out earlier in the summer, and it's not like it used to be where they go up, and because it's so close to kick, you get a ton of volatility. This has just been like a slow progression of a little bit of movement here, a little bit there, dead spot. It's going to pick up. Realistically, probably in the next week or so. Some of it is just going to be reactionary. Training camp news, suspensions, eligibility problems. This whole two-time transfer thing is going to be a major issue in the next few weeks. This is being recorded Tuesday afternoon, August 8th. Just this afternoon, I saw UNC receiver Des Watson in a group that was already looking very young and very thin, was probably going to be their number one target, ruled ineligible as a two-time transfer. This is going to be a constant problem, not just in football, but in basketball too. So things that will move the market, I mean, that's going to be a huge one. The usual injury problems, it's suspension season, guys doing dumb shit. So that, because we're now into camp, the market will start moving just based on those types of items. But otherwise, it's been fairly slow. I've been somewhat surprised at how lackadaisical this market's been. And I don't think it's because of limits, because it's easier to get down money early, weeks ahead than it's been in the past. So I don't think it's that. I think it's just kind of everyone in a wait and see mode until some of this info starts trickling out to move lines. I think it's worth looking at some of these games, trying to anticipate where they're going to go. We'll do the week 0 ones first. I also wanted to touch briefly on FCS. There's 3 FCS games, week 0, and then a whole, boatload of them week 1, a mix of FCS versus FCS and then FCS versus FBS. But that market, that's the volatile market because those numbers aren't coming out until day before or even morning of for FCS versus FCS, 2-3 hours to settle. And it doesn't. It's uber volatile, as those of you who've played it over the years know quite well. Navy Notre Dame, I have no real take on this game. I know it's a controversial one, but it's sitting, we're below 21, but we're also sitting 50.5, right under that key number of 51. I think it's been, it did get to 51 briefly. It's circa July 26th, and those numbers, that 51 lasted for 2 minutes. So it's always nice to see when it hits a key number and it immediately gets bounced back. I like that because it shows a very rational market that understands where the big choke points are with important totals: 55, 51, 48, 45, 59, 41. Those are the big numbers. So I'm sure it'll get back over 51 at some point. I would be somewhat interested in under, the 52 range, but would be okay to pass. There has been a lot of movement in UTEP Jacksonville State. This got up as high as JSU -3. And now they've flipped back to a dog. Probably going to see two-way action here up through kick. This is one you're doing some guesswork with JSU. So I have no lean. I looked pretty deeply into this one earlier in the offseason. I followed JSU a lot last year, just through normal FCS stuff. Got nothing there. New Mexico State, I was watching for a 7, and there was one briefly. I'm using Circa just as I think it's probably the best barometer amongst most of the books. There was a 7 for a little bit. Bookmaker has not been at 7 at any point. So a little bit of interest in New Mexico State at a flat 7, but no rush there. I think it should get there. I mean, open 10, been kind of steadily ticking down since. I have to imagine you'll see a 7 at some point. There has been a lot of movement too on Ohio, SDSU. Circa opened 4, but somebody was out earlier with bet online at a 4.5. I hate even citing DraftKings. 5.5, whatever. No, not like anyone can actually bet real money there. If that dipped under, I know Ohio's popular. All I've heard is Ohio action. I don't even disagree. It's just if that dips under 3, 2.5, even 2, I'd have to start thinking about SDSU. Just purely on power ratings. The rest of these, quite frankly, don't really care. I'm not gonna have anything here on Hawaii Vandy. 31, somewhat of a key number on San Jose State USC. It was under 63 for a while. That's now been cleared. That's 7 or 9 TDs. That's somewhat of an important totals number. Other ones, I did play UConn plus 17. Circa opened 18 for not long. 17s, they did last a while. I think I played this one at Caesars and a few other spots. Yeah, Caesars had 17s for a while, and then I hit them at a couple other PPH type shops. But UConn catching 17, NC State double-digit road dog. I faded them in almost in the exact same spot last year to open at ECU. Just not a team, even with this shift to a more open passing offense with Armstrong and Robert Anai. I have a hard time seeing this team built to play like that. And UConn, again, just like last year, I still think they're underrated. Power ratings wise, they're still being priced outside the top 100. I don't think that's the case anymore. Already mentioned Nebraska, Minnesota. If that gets to 6, I would add Florida, Utah. Everyone's talking about this game. The questions are obvious. You don't need me to point them out. Cam Rising, yada yada. If anything leaks out, this is quickly going to go below 7. Total's already taken a ton of money. I agree with the move. I don't know what it would take to get me on the over. Probably in the 45 range, but it's already taken so much under money. I don't know how much lower it could reasonably go without some buyback, but 45 would be a little bit interesting. These 4 games, I have nothing here. A little mild interest in Louisville, Georgia Tech under, but I would need more. Maybe, well, it's certainly not going to 55, but something above 52, I'd probably have some interest there. Fresno, Purdue already played under 52.5. There was more news today. Purdue's receiving group, which already looked pretty brutal to begin with, lost the FAU transfer Jamal Edreen, who looked like their projected top target on a pretty thin group. Last year, I used yards per route run as kind of my catch-all stat, and Charlie Jones was the guy. 2.7 yards per route run is awesome, and nobody else could even touch him. And then they also lost the tight end Payne Durham, who was a really reliable target, one of the better tight ends in the Power 5. So this is going to be tough. Big stylistic shift from Braum going to the Ryan Walters defense first thing. Purdue's Tarp and returning production defensively. I think they're getting dinged for that. But the Walters scheme is so good. He's bringing a bunch of those coaches with him. I think this defense is going to be excellent pretty much from the jump, despite being somewhat inexperienced. Fresno going from Hainer to probably Keene. Could be Fife, but probably Keene. That's a fairly substantial drop-off. It's being priced in. This total, I said I played 52.5, but it's been straight one-way action on the under. Circa had a 56.5 for 5 minutes. I mean, if you got it, great. But I mean, for one, I don't have Circa access. Even if I did, what are the chances within these 5 minutes that I'm able to get this? But anyway, so realistically, the number that was widely available for a while was 53. 52.5 was out there for a while. Pretty much everyone's now 51.5 painted across the board. I think this one closes under 51. I think this one closes honestly 49.5. This should continue to take money. Fresno early kick, West Coast team. That's going to be tough.
There's a big NFL contest going on. There's actually 2 of them right here in Vegas. It is the Circa Million 5 and the Circa Survivor. 14 million. That's right, million. 14 million in guaranteed prizes. There's no rake. So if any of the entries go above the guarantee, all the extra money is going to go to the prize pool. Entries have been open for the last couple of months. They do close here rapidly, September the 9th at 2 p.m. It's an NFL contest. You got to register here in person at Circus Sportsbook in Nevada, whether that's Las Vegas, Henderson, Sparks, Reno, any Circus Sportsbook you can register. Weekly picks, you don't have to be here in Nevada. You can be made, those can be made through a proxy that you'll register with when you sign up. Circa Million 5, here's the difference. Circa Million 5 is a ATS contest. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick 5 teams against the spread every week. There's $1,000 per entry with a maximum of 5 entries per person, $6 million in guaranteed prizes. The winner, the one with the best record against the spread, takes home $1 million. There's quarterly season-long prizes. The one that does the worst, the entry that does the worst, a $100,000 booby prize. Circa Survivor, it's kind of a last man standing type contest. $8 million in guaranteed to the winner. It's $1,000 per entry with a maximum of 10 entries per person. All you're doing is picking one team straight up every week to win. If that team loses or ties, the entry is eliminated. You can only pick each team once in a season. You got to go 20-0 or be the last person standing to win. If a single person wins, they get the entire pot. If multiple people go 20-0 or multiple people get eliminated the same week to reduce the contest to 0, they split the pot. Thanksgiving and Black Friday combined for a week. That's how you got 20 weeks there. Christmas Day is its own week as well. That is the Circa Survivor, the Circa Million 5. Sponsoring us here on a college show. I like that, though. I do love Circa Sports. No, believe me, got the hat on, folks. Love that book. Favorite book in the world.
I want to hit a couple more here of interest. Ohio State, depending where you look, opposite sides of the 28. I have no real take there. I hope for Indiana's sake they slow down this year. They played unbelievably fast last year, way too fast considering their talent deficiencies. If they try doing that again, it's going to be the same problem. It could be worse. You can't play the top 3 tempo when you're this talent deficient. It's just murder. But they'll probably do it again. I hate to say, I can't believe I'm saying this publicly. I'm warming on Utah State, a team that last year the consensus was that they were going to kind of build off of their really good 2021, which was a big surprise when Blake Anderson came in. They had some incredible Murphy's Law injury luck last year. Everything just went to shit. I read one of the local outlets said they lost 27 guys off the 2 deep at some point to injuries last year. Just remarkable attrition. They've brought in, 30-something, 40 transfers. Who the hell knows? It's probably behind Colorado. They've got to be second or third in terms of pure bodies. So they should have a lot more depth. Is the depth quality? I don't know. But this is a pretty good coaching staff. Anderson's had a lot of success in the past. Good ATS coach, last year notwithstanding. I'm warming to it. I just hate the idea of trying to back an underdog like this at Kinnick, where, this game realistically could be 28-0. It just, and Utah State has 80 yards of offense. But at 24, I'd have to really think about it. But I don't really see any 24s except at Circa right now. So keep an eye on that one. That's on my list to watch. Other than that, I already played Rice plus 35. Mentioned Cal North Texas. I already played Texas State plus 26. Good time to mention. I'm really trying to avoid a lot of these bigger underdogs because week 1, coaches want to get their backups in, and they actually want the backups to run the offense. They're not just in to dick around and run halfback dive or whatever. So it's a little scary when you're backing a big underdog and you're trying to hang on at the last second, and the fucking second string is running 4 verts. So I'm really trying to avoid some of these, but I thought these numbers were off. I've been the biggest Texas State / Incarnate Word fan. I've talked about them a lot on Twitter. It's a big adjustment. I'm concerned that it's going to take a while, but the pure talent within this system, what they brought with them from a ridiculously good Incarnate Word team, I'm a little queasy having played Texas State plus 26, but I understand the downside, but I'm also thinking, man, what is the upside here? Played South Carolina +3, -106 today after the Tez Watson news I just mentioned. I think if that's just, that ineligibility holds until game time, this one should close 2.5 most likely. I was looking at the Massey Composite Power Ratings Index, which combines, I don't know, 15 different power rating metrics. I actually had South Carolina slightly ahead of UNC even before the Watson news, and I think Watson's probably worth, in the context of their entire receiver room, is probably worth a point or close to a point. So South Carolina was 38th, UNC was 44th. That's like a point. Yeah, South Carolina was -1 on a neutral. I like getting 3 there, and every way you look at it is a complete coin flip game. Illinois is on my hit list. I'd like to get 9. Caesars does have it. We'll see. That's been Toledo money most of the way, but I have a pretty strong Illinois lean there. That's about it, right? Yeah, nothing else for now. So, as I said, I did want to mention the FCS stuff, but I'm going to wait. Try and do that next week. It's not like there's any rush there. Lines won't be out until the day before or the day of anyway, so no reason to force that. We'll save that for the next one. Until then, take care.